dear students, welcome you to my YouTube channel Literature Pilot. So this is my first video and I hope to do more and more videos for you to be a support. And since this is my first video, first let me introduce myself to you. I'm Geethani Ranathunga, teacher of a reputed national school in Northwestern Province, and I'm doing A-levels in my school and have followed BA in English at University of Java, and I'm a teacher from Peradeniya National College of Education. So that's about me, and today I'm thinking of focusing your attention on the poem Chimney Sweeper, which is in your syllabus as the first poem for the new term. So hope you will get something from my video, and here we will start the poem, talking about the poem Chimney Sweeper. Chimney Sweeper is by the Romantic poet William Blake. So you know, William Blake was a poet who was in the Romantic era, and he had two collections of two poetry collections. One is Songs of Innocence, that was published in 1789, and Songs of Experience followed the Songs of Innocence, that is in 1794. So before moving on to the poet, the students, it's very important for you to have an understanding about the background and the poet or the writer related to that piece of literature, whatever it is. So since this is a poem, we would focus on a bit about the cultural background or the socio-political background to the poem and about the poet. And in your answers, there is not much needed to write pages about this poet and the socio-cultural background, but having the understanding or having the idea of what you are writing or what you are discussing in the answer is important, because it will help you to write a better answer with good understanding. So therefore we will focus on William Blake and how the socio-cultural or how the socio-political background influenced to write this poem. So Blake was a poet, as I told you earlier. He belonged to this Romantic era. So talking about Romantic era, you know, we talk about literary eras starting from the Old English, then Middle English, and then from Anglo-Saxon to Modern English. So this belongs to that Romanticism. Let me first tell you what Romanticism is. So having the understanding about Romanticism is also important when you understand the poem. Romanticism, in the sense, is it already started in 18th. Romanticism came into action in 18th century, at the end of the 18th century, and it is in the beginning of the 19th century. So before the Romanticism, there prevailed Augustan era, metaphysical eras, Elizabethan eras, and so on. So those poetries were written into a convention. So breaking the convention, Romantic poets started a new path to write about their poetry. So in the convention was already to write about this aristocracy, mostly in their poetry. They wrote about aristocracy, and they also focused most on the upper class or the upper hierarchy of the society. So the Romantic poets or the romantic writers wanted to take this break this convention into a new path, and so they started writing these romantic poems as a answer to those conventional writing, earlier prevailed conventional writing. So that is about romanticism, and talking about romanticism, we can focus many terms like, so romantic poets already focused on their writing mostly on the liberty. So they came upon the concepts of liberty, the democracy, and also they focused on human rights, and they especially discussed the impact of the Industrial Revolution on the natural world. So therefore you will find in your syllabus many of the romantic writers. You will, when you browse the internet or when you read the things, you have to read more and more. When you read, you will find many of the romantic contemporaries of William Blake. Like we will find very famous poets, Wordsworth, Byron, Shelley, Samuel Coleridge, and you will find John Keats. So such type of poets already focused on this natural world, and underneath the discussing about this natural world, they already focused their attention towards how the Industrial Revolution affected on the natural world. So in my discussion, you heard my term Industrial Revolution. So what do you mean by this Industrial Revolution, and how it affected to our literature? So we will have a look at that socio-cultural or the socio-political influence, how the Industrial Revolution influenced to our poetry here, as we discussed in the Chimney Sweeper. So, children, literature is not just sole thing. It already consists of many other things. So you will have to have an understanding about history, world history, and you will have to have an understanding about science, and you will have to have. So literature is not a mere subject that we can discuss in isolation. So therefore, we will have attention. Before moving to the poem, we will just have attention towards this social or the cultural or the political background to the poem. So, as I told you, Blake here discusses significantly about the American Revolution and the French Revolution, and he in this poem, underneath implicitly gives us the idea how these revolutions affected in his contemporary London city. So, American Revolution that already happened in 1775, and French Revolution took place in 1789. So these two revolutions already affected in many changes in the society, and Blake and the Romantic poets, those who came after this French Revolution, as a result of the French Revolution, they questioned about the conventional political systems. As I told you in earlier writing, they already wrote about in Augustan, Elizabethan eras, in other previous eras. They already discussed, they already focused much attention not on the ordinary or not on the nature of the nature. So they already focused their writing towards this aristocracy or the upper hierarchies or the important or the unique figures of the society. But here the poets after the Industrial Revolution, they focused their attention mostly towards the other writings, the ordinary people or the ordinary things or the nature, and how these Industrial Revolution affected on these how this industrial revolution affected on the ordinary people's lives. So here, that's why I told you that French Revolution and this industrial revolution, the American Revolution, already affected in changes in the society. So that's why they questioned the conventional political systems of the monarchy that was prevailed earlier, and they already questioned about the feudalism. You know what the feudalism is, which was prevailing in Russia and all in the world that time. So they questioned about that, and they also focused their attention. They already argued on this colonialism. So, chimney sweeper William Blake, it is type of we can describe that to be a type of a call for more political autonomy and equality as well. Before coming to the poem directly, we want to see what these chimney sweepers are, who these chimney sweepers are, and what the chimney sweeping is. So you have to know, students. Now London was not a commercial city or a fully industrialized city by the time before the Industrial Revolution. It was already an agrarian country. There prevailed an agrarian society that time. And after the French Revolution, they started moving to London city. Many of the people from the countryside, they started moving to this London city area. Now you imagine, just imagine about Colombo city in our country. So many of the people who live in Colombo city are not the hereditary born people from Colombo area. So they already many of the people are from the rural areas of the country in various parts of the country, and they have already settled down there later. So you just imagine our Colombo city to that contemporary London city in that era. So in London city, those people, as I told you, they came from this agrarian, they already withdrew from the agrarian society, agrarian living style, and they moved to London city area or the city area. So what happened then? When all the country people come to the city, do they have enough space? Yeah, they don't get enough space. So what happens then? There creates a problem. Overpopulation. So when the people come and settle there, many problems occur. You just imagine of these Colombo areas, city areas in our country. So they struggle hard in their lives more than the people from these countrysides. So they have to find more and more. They can't depend upon these day-to-day findings from these natural things and natural stuff, and they can't depend on them only. They have to have money for everything. So similarly in London city, by that time when people came from different parts of the country and settled there, they have created many problems. One was overpopulation. So when the overpopulation was over there, another problem was there, that was this diseases were spread. So, and as a result of the overpopulation, what happened? So when the population was too much there, then they came the problem of they faced the problem of, or the issue of existing or the surviving themselves. So what happened was, many of them have to struggle with the poverty. Poverty came, when the poverty entered their life, they had to have many work. So as a result, what happened? Both men, women, and even the children had to work. So during this romantic era, as in our poem, many of the children in that era had to suffer due to this poverty-stricken lifestyle. So as a a result, um, industrial revolution immensely affected their lives and badly affected their lives. And here in the poem Chimney Sweeper, we will be focusing such a situation in the poem. So I hope you would have gained some understanding or to the about the background of the socio-cultural background before entering to the